Well, welcome to my desktop, everybody. I don't really ever show my desktop, but in case you're wondering, my picture is of the Spice Girls backstage, and my recycle bin has been renamed. But today, we're not trying to throw shade at EA. Well, I guess we are a little bit, but we're gonna try and fix The Sims 3 nice and slow, step by step, and so that way you can just follow along with me, and you can refer to any chapters in the video if you need a little more clarification. So this video is not gonna be as glitzy and glamoury as my usual content, but it should be easy enough to follow along. The first thing I want to show you is the Lazy Duchess Smooth patch. So I'm just going to type that right into Google here, and we can see that the first couple results are the Lazy Duchess's official Tumblr and a Mod The Sims link. Both of these are great choices. I'm going to click on the Tumblr, and I can just scroll down here to where it says The Sims 3 Smooth Patch 1.2.1. I have the origin version, so I'm going to click on the Sims file share link and download the file. So as we can see here, it's downloaded into the downloads folder here. Now this tutorial is intended for people who have a little more experience with computers, so if you're unfamiliar with zip files, make sure you watch a quick video on YouTube to find out about those before you move on. As we can see, inside the zip file we have a few things, and we're just going to drag these over to our desktops, that way we can put them into our Sims 3 folders. Now this part I will show you because it's very important. You want to go to your C drive or wherever you have the Sims 3 installed. For me, it's in Program Files 86, down to Origin Games, The Sims 3, and then I have all these crazy folders, so just be careful with these ones. You want to go into Game, then Bin, and then you have all these other files here. Now for the patch to work for me, I find that I have to launch the game by using the patch launcher here. So once you've moved it into your bin folder, you just have to right click, and I do run as administrator, so that way it gets to do all the stuff it has to. I don't usually recommend running as administrator for many files, but I've used this many times and I do believe it is completely safe, and I've had no negative experiences while using this. There is also a text document right above called TS3 patch, and if we open that, we can see that there's a few things that you can tweak here. So I'm not going to get into like the details of all of these. You can leave it on just default and it'll still run the smooth patch just fine, but in fact a few of these other features we're going to be covering later on in the video as well. But as I said, if you launch your game by right clicking on the patch launcher and clicking run as administrator, it should open up a regular Sims 3 launcher, and then when you start the game you'll see a little notification that says patching game, and then when you get that message, you know you've done it right. And if you have any other questions on the patch or want to know anything else, Google is a great resource. There's lots of stuff here on the official Tumblr. And of course, we always have Mod The Sims, where you always have people helping each other out and trying to get things running well. So this is not even really a mod. It's more of just a side program to help The Sims 3 identify your graphics card, and that should help some of the game run smoother as well. So all we have to do is go over here to the Files tab, and here we can see everything that we can download. I'm just going to click on the manual download for The Sims 3 GPU add-on. Now you'll see some warnings for the Microsoft.NET framework requirements. Now when I went in to update these, I found that my PC already had these figured out. So if you're on a newer computer, you should have no problem, but it's worth looking into if you haven't done anything like this before. And you'll also notice there is a donation link here. So if you're in the market to support some great mod creators, this would be a great opportunity. So I've clicked on my manual download, and again, it's done very fast. So I'm just going to go into my downloads folder and open up the zip file. And this one's a lot simpler. We can see that this is just the TS3 GPU add-on.exe file. Again, I would normally not advocate running an exe file that you don't recognize, but like I said, I've used this, many people I know have used this, and we've had no problems with it. So once I drag it to my desktop here, I'm just going to run as administrator once again. Running as administrator just allows a program to basically do whatever it wants, which is not great if you download a virus, but it's really good if you download something that's going to help your Sims game. And actually looking at it, my memory is a little bit foggy, so I went ahead and downloaded the Sims 3 GPU add-on user guide. This is a file just below the program that we just downloaded. He offers a few resources to help us out if we get a little bit stuck. Now that guide can be particularly helpful if the game is failing to even locate your graphics card, but I don't really have any problems. I'm actually using two, one for each monitor, and the NVIDIA graphics is what I'm using for the game, and it's been found and supported because I've done the patch already, but you'll see that it's probably under not supported if you're on a newer machine. So all you have to do, if this check mark is green, you just have to click it, and it's going to ask about backing up files. I always say yes, and then it says patch the graphics card and rules. So it really is that simple, but you do have to go in and make sure that the game has done this. Now to double check and make sure that our graphics card is actually recognized, we have to go into a different place. So I go into my documents folder, and here you should have your Electronic Arts Sims 3, and then you'll have a bunch more folders here, but you don't have to worry about the folders. Just go into device config, but we can definitely see that our graphics card has been recognized. So this is the name of mine, and if it says found 1, matched 1, then you know that it worked. If either of those is 0, then it's not working, and then you have to try again. And then that's when you can open up the troubleshooting guide. But for me, I had it work really easily. I have kind of an older graphics card, but not as old as The Sims 3, so I think I found a happy medium and everything worked out. The next thing I want to talk about is the FPS Limiter. So this is something that you can do with the smooth patch if you know what you're doing, but like I said, you don't have to worry about editing that text file if you don't want to. So for this one, is actually pretty simple. You don't need to download anything. You just have to right click on your desktop and then go to your graphics control panel here. So again, when it opens up, you're going to see a lot of stuff that we don't have to worry about. You see a bunch of options here on the left. You click manage 3D settings, and then you go to program settings. Here you have to select The Sims 3 from the drop down menu. If it's not there, you can click add and you can find it on your computer to add to this list. So in this mess, you want to change two things. Vertical sync here, you want to change it to on, and then you want to change your max frame rate to 60 FPS. I think by default, it's an unlimited FPS, so The Sims 3 can be taking so much more memory than it needs, and it just leads to all sorts of problems. And this is a really easy way to fix that. There's also something else really easy we can do without having to download anything. So I'm gonna go back into my original folders I was working on. That's the program files, the origin games, The Sims 3, game, and then bin. And back in this jumbled mess here, you're gonna see a little file called Sims 3 configuration settings. And opening up this file in Notepad, you don't have to go too far down. You'll see here, there's a resource system memory usage limit. By default, this is actually set to 2, and that means that you're using 2 GB of RAM. Now I will mention that what you change this number to really depends on your computer. In general, you wanna find out how much RAM your computer is using, and then you just wanna cut that number in half. And you can double check how much RAM you have by going to a new window here. We're gonna right click on this PC and click properties. So here you can see that I have 16 GB of installed RAM. And here I'm just gonna change the number 2 to the number 8. And that's gonna tell the game that it can use 8 GB of RAM. Fun fact, if your Sims always get clumped together and they can't get around, you can change these numbers, at least the first 5 to 0.1, and then they can squeeze past each other a lot better. So I just thought I would include that. So now that we've figured out how to use a little more RAM from our PCs, we want to use a little bit more CPU as well. So back in our good old game/bin folder, we have a document here called graphics rules. This will also open in Notepad. So to make your computer use more CPU, you just have to change the 2 and the 1 here to a 3. So have it as 4333, and that'll also give you a little boost to your performance. Now the last thing I want to mention, if you're a new Sims 3 player or just thinking about playing, you probably have not heard about NRaas Mods. Now, if you are an experienced Sims 3 player, this will be no surprise to you because some of these are the best mods in the game. So you can go to nraas.net here and go into the mod list, and you'll find Error Trap. That one's very important. And you also want to grab one called Overwatch. You just have to click the download button and then stick them in your mods folder. So if I go into my packages, I actually have a special folder for NRaas Mods. So I have pretty much all of the main ones here, but you can see you just have to drag the NRaas Error Trap and the NRaas Overwatch right into your mods folder, and it should work just fine. And neither of these mods require any settings to be changed to work properly. Overwatch is gonna keep an eye on your game and stop certain things from happening, and Error Trap is gonna recognize problems and before they cause like any corruption or game crashes or anything like that. Okay, well that about does it. I'm just gonna drag these all into my recycle bin here, and we're gonna conclude the video. Now, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment down below, or if you want, I'll leave an invite link to my Discord down below as well, and you can pop in and ask any of us there. A lot of us have been through the same struggles as you. Don't worry, you can do it and we can make it happen. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give this video a like or bookmark it for later if you don't feel like doing all of this now. This stuff really comes in handy, and quite honestly, it took me a while to re-find everything and try to get it into a digestible format. So just running around Googling, you might get a little bit overwhelmed, but I left this video in sections so that way you can reference it as you need. Thanks. Boom.